just here at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, specifically in the Olmec section. The Olmec of central Mexico from 1800 to 1200 BC. And there's some interesting pieces I want to get a close look at and show you too. We're also going to look at some other areas of Central and South America in this short Megalithomania video. So please subscribe if you can. Remember to hit the bell icon and support Megalithomania on Patreon if you are so inclined. So behind me is the small Olmec section, so let's get in there and have a closer look. So this is the whole collection here at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. So this is one of the classic seated or baby figures. This is from Las Bocas. It's supposed to be from the 9th to the 12th century BC, made of ceramic. But these are the classic, almost Chinese eunuch babies that we find all over the ancient Olmec world. You can just see here, and if you look on the back of him as well, he's got like an Olmec hat on, an Olmec helmet. There's also got a cross on the back there. And I'll edit in some photos so you can get some clearer shots of this. But this is just absolutely amazing. These absolutely blow me away. But these are like some of the early deities of the Olmecs, and you can see they have no kind of genitals, and this is part of an ancient Chinese Shang tradition, which we can show you some images of here. And over here we have some other pieces from Olmec land. This is from the 9th to the 12th century BC. It's not exactly known where this is from, but it's from Arthur M. Bulwer in 1989, and it's like a tecumate or bowl. And up here we have a bottle. Again, this is from the same era. It's unknown exactly where this is from, and we'll edit in some photos so you can get a clear image of these. This is a duck head vessel. Then we have a bird vessel from Olmec land, again the same era. This interesting bowl at the back here is quite intriguing. It has like a sort of sun kind of pattern on it with like a serpent going around the edge. Again, this is from the 6th to the 9th century BC. We have another kind of bowl or a jug here from the same era, from a site called Tlapacoya. And here, these are interesting. These are like ritual objects. They're made of, look like quartz and another type of stone. They're named pulidors. Again, these are from the same collection. But again, what are these? Are these like the way they were using quartz for magical purposes in Olmec land? And we have some other things here. We have a ball player and a mother and child figure from the 9th to the 12th century BC from Tlapacoya again. And another bowl, and this very interesting figure. It looks like a classic Olmec in a seated position. Could be a female, could be an older guy, but it looks like he's kind of got some kind of facial hair with oriental features. And then we have another carved bowl here, which has got the classic kind of bird motif all around the edge. Over here we have some jade and serpentine features. This one here is really interesting. This is an incised pendant from the 4th to the 10th century BC. Unknown exactly where this came from. Here we have a sort of cleft skull and strange features on its mouth. Could be from Guatemala, and it's 600 to 900 BC, and this is from the Hope collection. But again, you can see the sort of classic Olmec head with the cleft lip and other features. This is actually made from serpentine. Again, this is the 4th to the 8th century BC, and it was from the Harris Brisbane Dick Fund 1970. So where this came from we don't know, but you can see what he's sort of holding things in his hand. Now what he's holding in his hands there is very similar to the kind of objects and the way that the Tiwanaku statues hold certain sacred objects in their hands. And we have this very strong green jade from the 4th to the 10th century in Mexico. It doesn't say exactly where these are from. And some other ones over here, it's worth noting. A seated bench figure made of serpentine holding a baby, sort of kneeling down. We have another feature here. This is called another bench figure only from, this is Epi Olmec from the 2nd to the 5th century BC. Fragment of a mask with a cleft lip. This is classic Olmec, 6th to the 10th century BC. And this here is really interesting. This is like an eagle transformation figure made of jade or albite, cinnabar on it as well. And you can just see the features here are really, really interesting. And finally over here we have some other jade figures. This is jadeite, a ritual spoon pendant. But these kind of green stones were used all through ancient Mexico. And they were the first really Americans to use jadeite, so we think the influence actually came from ancient China. This is what's called a yoke, and you can see that because it's kind of empty. It's kind of just all around the edge there. 4th to the 10th century BC. Again, not sure exactly where this was found, but we have seen these at other Olmec sites, and this is really interesting. This is an incised celt from 4th to the 10th century BC made of jadeite, and you can just see some of the features, some of the carvings on here with the hand and the sort of figures up the top there are really, really interesting. And we find many of these jade celts at La Venta and other sites all over ancient Mexico. This Olmec mask is from the 6th to the 10th century BC, and it's noted for its harmonious proportions and smooth finish. And the incredible hardness of this jadeite makes it incredibly difficult to carve. And it's not supernatural and it's not human, it's kind of in between. And it has like otherworldly aspects associated with it. This is the bearded figure from Olmec land. It's a very rare piece. This is made of perfect serpentine. He's in a kneeling Quizzo position and he's got a beard. Now, this is something we don't often find unless it's associated with Quetzalcoatl. He looks kind of oriental. So this again is one of the mysteries of the Olmec. So we've had a quick look at the Olmec pieces here at the Met in New York, but there's something even more interesting as we go into the next room. This is the Jan Mitchell Treasury, but what we have here is just, we don't also have a lot of gold in here, but one of the most fascinating places I've ever visited is ancient Costa Rica. So check this out. We literally have one of the stone spheres here that were found in the Diqui Delta of Costa Rica near Golfito or Palma Sur and Palma Norte. I did not know this was going to be here. So we've got, it's almost, you can just see how perfectly spherical this is all the way around, and I believe these were actually constructed or influenced by the Olmecs heading south through Central America. It's from about 800 to 15 AD, and it's actually made of andesite, so this is an extremely hard rock like we find at Pumapunku and Tiwanaku in ancient Bolivia. And then we have these amazing things. These are called ceremonial metates. We're not sure exactly what type of stone, but it looks like it's some kind of basalt. But look at the 3D relief carvings on these. It's absolutely incredible. Again, we have the same kind of quality of stonework here, where we have stunning relief carvings with zigzag diamond patterns on the back, like we find in other parts of the world. Absolutely amazing. So these alone are worthy of checking out. But then when you have the great stone spheres of Costa Rica just here on display in New York, is pretty amazing. And here we have some Costa Rican what are called pendants, and these are again made of various different types, mainly jadeite. And you can see this could again be influenced by the Olmecs, because we know the Olmecs were using jade in this part of the world. So we have bird pendants, we have celts, we have double masked figures with beards and other such things here. It's absolutely amazing just to see these here on display. So not only do we have these pieces from Costa Rica, we have a huge amount of gold on display here at the Met from Central and South America. We'll just have a look at a few pieces that kind of caught my attention, particularly those who enjoy the Ancient Aliens TV show, you might actually recognize these three pieces here. And these are supposedly, what some researchers say, are kind of flying machines or representations of them. You can see there's a fourth example just above. So what are these really? We know these are from Colombia. I've seen these myself in the Bogota Museum. But are they actually representations of flying machines? Well, they've been put to the test. We know Giorgio Tsoukalas and the Ancient Aliens team have actually suggested these could, if they were enlarged, they would actually work perfectly as some kind of Vimana or flying craft. But these date to at least the 10th to the 12th century AD. So as we continue through the room here at the Met, the South American section, we've actually got some pieces here from Tiwanaku. Now this is a statue I've never seen before. So this is really intriguing. It's a sacred figure. It could be Viracocha. So we can see it has tears coming down his face. He's holding sacred objects in his hand. He's got some kind of belt with all these hieroglyphs all over his kind of trousers. And so this is amazing. So I've never seen this. So this is was given in 1979 by the Michael C. Rockefeller Memorial Collection. So we have the Rockefellers. Now this looks like it's made of basalt or andesite, which is what we find at the site, but it's just a treat to actually see a statue from Tiwanaku that I've never seen before. So we'll just keep walking around. These are from the Boca Grande area of Peru. I'm not going to dwell on these too much, but there are some interesting pieces here that kind of caught my attention. And we have these from Ecuador, which is an area I visited. Inga Park, and many sites in that area. And we have like an elongated skull, gold statue. We have all these pieces here from various parts of South and Central America. There's just too many to look at, but you can see the intricacy of some of the gold work here, and figures that seem to represent or are really similar to Viracocha. This is from Lambayeque in ancient Peru up north. Absolutely amazing. There's so much stuff here. It's just pretty remarkable. And these are the famous masks and kind of knives from Lambayeque or Sipan. Just next to the South American room we have the North American area. Now there's not too much here, but there are some just interesting little pieces I wanted to show you. So we also have this interesting statue from Tennessee. It's made of quartz sandstone. It's a kneeling male figure, supposedly from the 13th to the 14th century. I'm not sure exactly where it's from, but no doubt it's from one of the Mississippian mound sites in Tennessee. You have this again from the same area, which is what's called a prisoner pipe. These are one of the classic pipes. There's the massive Squire and Davis collection. Again, we have Arkansas from a similar time frame. We have again Georgia with this beautiful, almost Spiro mound-like carving on bone or shell. And we have this death mask, or this some kind of funerary mask. And this bowl is really interesting because it's a seed bowl or a seed jar from Arkansas, the Caddoan tribes, and this could be where they place their seeds to get them charged up within the mounds. This is a bird stone from the Archaic era, which is about 2,000 years old, or 2,200 years old at least. So we have this strange bird pendant found somewhere in Ohio. So where that is, we don't know. Then we have this is a banner stone from Archaic Ohio, from the same area. And then we have this other banner stone from Illinois from about the 3rd century BC. And look how strange this is. It's made of some kind of crystalline rock or marble. And then we have this amazing one here, which is from Michigan. Again, the 2nd to the 3rd millennium BC. So we have these really interesting banner stones here from North America that date to the 2nd to the 3rd millennium BC. So we're going right into the Archaic era, before the Adena, before the mound builders. Only really Watson Brake and Poverty Point were in existence. So these banner stones are really interesting. The 4th millennium BC, the inhabitants of North America were using these banner stones as weights for spear throwers and other such things, and it improved the functionality of the spears. So I just find it really interesting that these eccentric, almost geometric shapes were being used at such an early period. 3,000 years before Christ. This is what we're talking about here. 2,500 years before the Adena were even in existence, apparently. So I'm just amazed by this. So we've got these artifacts, just, you know, a small corner of the Met, absolutely blowing my mind. So these are just a real treat to see these, along with the other discoveries that are on display here.